friend of mine, Sister Elizabeth Fitzgerald, sent me a bunch of Christmas cards for me to use, sending out to others. And both of them were very unique and beautiful. And this particular card has an emphasis on the cross. It has a beautiful Christmas tree with the wood of the cross present, the garment of the Lord, and the crown of thorns. And inside it says, "Remember the gift sent from heaven above, wrapped in humanity destined to love. Remember the gifts that caused angels to sing, a true treasure worshipped by shepherds and kings. Remember that God gave his life on a tree, how he suffered and died to set you and me free. So as we celebrate this wonderful season, we give thanks and remember the reason." My friends, you are here today because you know the reason for the season, and that is the birth of Jesus Christ in enormous, infinite, unconditional love for us. A birth that would lead him to the cross. The son of a carpenter who was born in a stable and who would be nailed to the tree because of his love for us. When we began our Advent journey this year, I told a story about Alex Trebek. I remember where I was Thanksgiving Day when I heard his Thanksgiving message. And it was a wow moment. I literally was in my car and said out loud, "Wow." And I've been waiting because today was scheduled to be the final episode of Jeopardy, and Alex Trebek was going to give his final message today. And I've been Googling it all week, hoping I could find this Christmas message to share with you. And I learned early this morning, that it's been postponed till January. I think they're in reruns this week. But Alex Trebek was a wonderful man who passed away in November, and he wanted to be remembered as a kind soul. And he was indeed that by every single account. He hosted over 8,000 episodes of Jeopardy over 36 years. So I want to share with you, again, his message from Thanksgiving for two reasons. One is it bears repeating. And second, I knew there'd be folks with us today who weren't here, but we have friends and family who traveled from out of town. So here's what Alex Trebek had to say on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, the late Alex Trebek taped a special Thanksgiving message just before he lost his battle to cancer earlier this month.
The iconic Jeopardy host says it's important to remember to come together as a nation during these trying times.
Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. You know, in spite of what America and the rest of the world is experiencing right now, there are many reasons to be thankful. There are more and more people extending helpful hands to do a kindness to their neighbors, and that's a good thing. Keep the faith. We're going to get through all of this, and we will be a better society because of it.
Just amazing to me that he thought this all out. His show, he'll be on until Christmas Day.
And you'll be missed, but a wonderful message from Alex Trebek.
So when I heard that message, it was indeed a wow moment. In those very few words, the battery is low, so I will shout. In those very few words, Alex Trebek talked about Thanksgiving, and he talked about hope, and he talked about love, and he talked about encouragement. And I said wow out loud when he said, "And we will be a better society because of this." I thought, wow, talk about hope, talk about encouragement. And that's exactly what we need. And we have much more hope and encouragement now than we did when we began our Advent journey because of the vaccine. So my fervent prayer is that 2021 will be a year of favor from the Lord for all of us. And this church will be overflowing, packed with people next Thanksgiving, and we'll be worrying about traffic and seating and all of those things that we love to worry about at Christmas time. When the folks in our first reading heard the prophet saying to them, "The Lord will come and restore your nation," that was hard for them to hear because they were returning from an exile from the Babylonians to a city that had been leveled, flattened. And their focus is, we need to put every ounce of energy into rebuilding this city. We need to rebuild our city. We need to stake our claim again in our homeland. And instead, the prophet says, you need to put every ounce of your energy into thanking God for bringing you back to this city and entrusting this city to him. And so for us as a nation, we are putting every ounce of our energy into battling and winning the battle with this virus. But our first effort has to be to thank God and to trust God. And that is what we do today. And I love the image that John gave us in our gospel reading. Jesus is the light, and no darkness can overcome the Lord. And we celebrate that here today. Jesus himself was born as a homeless refugee fleeing a tyrannical king. And in that moment of great darkness came the greatest light we have ever seen. And so we ask the Lord to help us to be the light of Christ to the world. I loved what Alex Trebek said about how this pandemic has made us more loving and caring for each other. Yesterday, when I prayed at Christmas Eve Mass, when I prayed for first responders, I included grocery shop workers. Who a year ago would have thought that grocery shop workers would be putting their life on their line for us? But that's the type of people we are as Christians and as a nation. And so I'm going to ask you one of the most important questions you're ever going to hear in your life. And that is, so what? So what? What do we do about this? That Jesus Christ came to restore us, that he is our light, that no darkness will ever overcome him, and that we are to be the light of Christ to the nation. So what? Well, I have an answer for you from Cardinal O'Malley. So this is Cardinal O'Malley's Christmas message that I just received yesterday. And Cardinal O'Malley answers the question, so what?
Our God has made a gift of himself to us at Christmas. The best way to celebrate Christmas is to make it truly a feast of love and reconciliation. Christ is like a liberating vaccine, leading us from the isolation imposed by the pandemic of sin, by our selfishness, our indifference, our rivalries, our anger, our pride, the real causes of distances between us. God's love can cure us and set us free. This Christmas, let us mend a quarrel, build peace, seek out a forgotten friend, write a love letter, encourage a young person, keep a promise, forego a grudge, forgive an enemy, be gentle, express our gratitude, welcome a stranger, take pleasure in the beauty and the wonder of creation, speak out our love, speak it again, rejoice in God's gratuitous love and his gifts.
Amen. I received this beautiful card from Adele, a parishioner at St. Agnes. And when I opened it, as I'm sure you do every once in a while, you open a card and I looked at it and I said, that is beautiful. Just looking at the beautiful image of Mary and Jesus. And this is Adele's message to me and my message to you. His destiny was the cross. His purpose was love. And his reason was you. Merry Christmas.